In this video, we're going to talk about indirect variation. So indirect is different than direct, and it's kind of almost the opposite. This has variables varying inversely, meaning as one variable gets larger, the other variable gets smaller. So if one gets smaller, the other one gets larger. The equation for this is y is equal to k over x, where k is the constant of variation and also not equal to 0. There is a graph here that's kind of hopefully going to show this a little bit. If you are increasing in your x value, okay, increasing in the x value is going to the right. So if you were a little stick person walking along this path, at the beginning you don't really see much of a dip down, but as you keep going further and further right, you are going to get lower and lower and lower. Okay? Then there's the thing called an asymptote right here, which we'll get into asymptotes more later on, which basically is like a way to teleport. Okay? Now your stick person is really just on the side of a cliff all the way up here. Okay? They're still going to be going down as we go further and further right. So as x gets bigger, the y value is getting lower. If the x value is getting smaller, so we decided to change directions, now you're climbing up the hills. Okay? So as x gets lower, y gets higher. Okay, and this table just kind of matches up with that graph, saying the same thing. As my x values get bigger, my y values are in fact going to be getting lower. This -1, -12 part throws people off because they don't see the asymptote in that table. Asymptote just jumps you from the bottom all the way to the top. You didn't have any instance where you are increasing in this situation. You just jump all the way to the top. Okay, so number 4 says x and y vary inversely, and y is 6 when x is 1.5. Write the equation represented, then state the constant of variation. Use the equation to solve for y when x equals 4/3. So if y is equal to k over x, that means 6 is equal to k over 1.5. Okay, then I'm going to multiply both sides by 1.5. 6 times 1.5 is 9. That's my k value. Okay, so to write my equation, I'm going to have y is equal to k over x. Replace k with 9. There's my equation. Okay, constant of variation, we already said was 9. The solving for y when x is 4/3 is going to be something that is tricky until you get the hang of it, and then it's going to become second nature. It might take you 5 tries for it to become second nature. It might take you 500 tries. But we have 9 divided by 4/3. There's different ways to look at this. This is 9 over 1 divided by 4/3, for example. In middle school, I want to say, you learned something where the teachers would say, keep, change, flip. When you're dividing fractions, you keep the first fraction, change the division to multiplication, and then flip the second fraction. So this is 9 over 1 times 3/4, which when you multiply fractions, you multiply straight across the top. It's 27 on top, 4 on bottom. Okay. Multiplying and dividing fractions is going to be something you have to do a lot in this chapter. You're going to have to add fractions, subtract fractions, multiply, divide. So if you're not comfortable with fractions, you're going to need to practice the more basic fractions before you get into some more of the more complicated fractions throughout this chapter. Okay. So we're going to do 5, 6, and 7 really fast too, where we just say directly, inversely, or neither for if these two things vary directly, inversely, or neither. So reminder, directly would be y is equal to kx. Inversely or indirectly would be y is equal to k over x, and neither would be something else, right? That's just going back to what we said up here and what we said in the previous video. So for number 5, x and y are together, which is not the situation in either one of these. So I want to move x to that other side to get y by itself. And if I do that, I'm going to end up with y is equal to 4.8 over x. That's the second one. This is varying inversely. For number 6, I want to get y by itself again. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 1.5. That's the first one. So these ones are going to vary directly. And this third one, if I get y by itself, I don't really care how I do it. X minus 10 equals y, whatever. Because I have this plus sign, my answer is neither. If I can make a better letter N, that'd be great. Varying directly and inversely require multiplication and or division. No addition, no subtraction. If you have one of those, it's neither. Have a great day, everybody.